1 in 5 new mums suffer from postnatal depression. Among them, TV's Sonia Gray and Auckland mum Amy Shipley. They join us now with psychotherapist and postnatal distress expert. Get that one out, Susan Goldstiver. Hello, all of you. Welcome.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Oh, and you.
And your grey sour couch. This is something that's very close to your heart, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, as you know, I'm an advocate for all things mental health because I've kind of been through the ringer a little bit myself, and I think we need to look after our mental health. Postnatal depression, it's more than we think it is. I imagined it was day 3 after you've had a baby. You just,
very
a bit
teary.
Yeah, and that might be it. And but it's a whole lot more. It's you can have depression and anxiety when you're pregnant, which I did. Anxiety around the birth, obviously, and for a long time afterwards. And
how long did you have it for?
See, it's difficult for me because I had a history of depression. I was like, okay, I'm not enjoying this. I'm finding it really hard and I'm not happy, but is that normal? Because I'm not obviously getting much sleep. I have these 2 tiny babies with colic and reflux and stuff.
A brand new mum, they don't come with a handbook.
Exactly, yeah. So you don't know how you're supposed to feel, which I think is difficult. I don't know, Susan's our expert, so she would know more about...
How common is it, Susan,
There's,
postnatal depression?
For antenatally, 1 in 10 women, or 10%.
Yeah.
Postnatally, 20%. That's
so it
diagnosed. Yeah. So we suspect there's a lot more than that out there. 10% of men will experience PND, and 6% of women will experience birth trauma.
Okay. Amy, tell us your story.
So I actually developed depression when I was pregnant with my second child. So I probably sort of knew that something wasn't quite right when I was about 3 months pregnant.
Because it felt different to the first pregnancy?
Yeah, I couldn't relax anymore was probably the biggest thing. I was always on edge and just felt like, just tense. It took me probably a few more months than that to actually seek help. And so I did, went through quite a process. I did go on medication for part of my recovery.
While you were pregnant?
I started it just before giving birth, So medication can take a couple of weeks to kick in as well, so that was a really hard period as well.
Susan, why would that have kicked in on baby number 2 and not with the first? Yeah.
It can happen to anybody, anytime, baby number 1, baby number 4.
How long does it generally last?
And again, that's tricky.
Yeah.
We sort of say up to 1, but that's often when women are coming in saying, I think this is what's happened to me. But it depends on treatment. If women seek treatment really quickly and early on, they can actually be helped and supported very quickly. Otherwise, could go on for quite a long time.
Just run us through some of those symptoms that you might be feeling, because Sonia, you touched on the day 3 blues. I think probably, I don't know, the majority of women, I remember howling like a banshee on day 3 going, I love you so much, Mum. And I couldn't stop crying, but for me it was just centralised around that time and it didn't go on. But what sort of things would you be feeling if you
You could be feeling lots of tears, but ongoingly, not just for day 3 or 4. You can be feeling really irritable, really angry, really ashamed and really guilty, and not good enough, and oh my God, what have I done? And it can be hard to make a decision. So indecisiveness is one of them, and of course that gets really tricky because am I unwell? Should I get help? I don't know.
What are the thoughts likely to be around the baby? What sort of, do you sort of...
Yeah, I remember I was similar to Amy in that I think I was quite depressed during the pregnancy. I just felt numb and I didn't feel connected to these 2 little beings inside me. And when they were born, I had a lot of complications, preeclampsia and postpartum hemorrhage, and the list goes on.
Way to get a girl when she's down.
I know. And I got through it, and then mastitis, and I was just... It's interesting you said it, because I did think, why did I do this? I had a great life before, and I know that I love them, but I don't feel like I thought I would expect to feel.
Yeah.
And so there's a whole lot of guilt around that. And then there's a whole lot of guilt around, I should be able to do this because women have done this for years and everyone else out there is doing it fine. And
But
I'm
are
not.
they?
No, exactly. Hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't talk about it enough, and we all think that we are superwomen, and this is, you know, we're meant to be able to do this. We were given these bodies, we can produce children, we're meant to love them, be happy and have a smile.
Yeah, and do it all without no sleep, without any sleep.
Yeah.
And all on your own.
Yeah.
That's the myth.
When
we
you
don't need help and support.
No, and that's exactly what you need. So where do you go? Who do you talk to? Who did you talk to, Amy?
Well, I actually did some internet research, Google.
Yeah. Which can be good, can be bad.
Can be good, can be bad. Knew that, so I had what is reasonably common, I think, in depression I had like intrusive thoughts. So I knew that was, so I knew from Google that that was a sign of a symptom of depression. So I actually sought out Susan in the beginning, or still ongoing actually, and then I felt really scared to tell my midwife and GP. I thought that I would get labelled as having depression and always have this label on me, and that, you know, worst case they might even take my children away. So I was really scared to tell my GP or my midwife, and that was, you know, one of the best things I did as well in the end. So that took a while.
Power to you. Look at you now. You're on the telly talking about it. That is a very cool thing. Can people get involved and help out?
This is actually Perinatal Mental Health New Zealand Awareness Week.
It is.
Is that right? Yeah. And which is raising awareness for mental health around all prenatally and postnatally, and men as well. Suffer from, you know, mental health.
There's some buggy walks going on around the country.
Yep.
We can jump on a website. Tell us that.
The Perinatal Mental Health Trust has a website, and there's also a Facebook page, and on that are all the happening
details
around New Zealand.
Sounds fab, and no doubt we will have them on our website as well. If people are interested. Thank you so much for coming on. Good on you, girls. Fabulous. To find out more about the events, yes, as we talked about, planned to mark Postnatal Depression Awareness Week, you can visit our website. After the break, it's gloves off as the panel debate the news.